everyone, and welcome to the Open Mic Gripe with Jay Rice and Jeffrey Ide, the place where serious and silly complaints come to chat.
Open Mic Gripe is a weekly podcast dedicated to hearing your gripes, grievances, and opinions on any and all topics.
Every episode, Jay and I will have the opportunity to get to the bottom of the issues which are lingering on the back of your mind, and engage in order to create constructive conversation using a combination of lighthearted comedy and well-formed logic.
If you feel like we are wrong, inappropriate, or biased, then call in, email, or tweet and let your voice be heard. You can email us at openmicgripe@gmail.com or tweet to us at openmicgripe.
So jump on in and gripe on the Open Mic with Jay Rice and Jeffrey Ide. Hey Jay, how you doing?
Doing good. How about yourself?
I'm pretty good. I'm once again. I know I say this every episode, but I am.
Let me guess. You're excited about our guest?
I'm excited about our guest. Okay. Honestly, to get the diversity of guests that we've had on this show,
it's pretty good.
It's pretty amazing.
We could get more women and minorities. Yep. We know that. We have had people say that you sure seem to have a lot of white guys on. And it's not for lack of trying in other areas. We actually have a few people that we have lined up. It's just a scheduling issue at this point.
And to be entirely honest, I, more than anything, would love to have a much greater diversity. Yes. I want gender balance. I want hugely diverse racial balance. I want all of these backgrounds to come into play when it comes to sharing their perspectives and stories. Mm-hmm. It is in Fargo, North Dakota, need to remind you.
Yes.
And time is still short. We're all just volunteering our time. And so if you would like to help us out with that kind of balance, please send us an email, and we would love to have you on the show as a guest.
Yes. If you have a specialty or something that you can focus on, that would be great. Not required, though. Because there are some people that I would say don't have a specialty or a hobby or something that they can speak about. Does not mean they're not interesting.
Absolutely. So without further ado... Waiting.
I think we have a pretty important announcement to make.
We do, actually.
And you're just going to skip right by it. You guys, you ladies, you hermaphrodites, we... are moving to a live call-in show.
To clarify, we're not moving, we are expanding.
We are expanding. That would be the correct... Yes, we are expanding. We are actually moving on to... Well, not moving. Expanding onto KRFF 95.9 Radio Free Fargo.
Which is also available online.
Correct.
If you look up Radio Free Fargo into Google, you will find it. And we're hoping to start soon, within the next few weeks. So
probably this week or next week, I think we'll be starting.
Just to clarify this, by the end of 2015, we will be on the air.
Yes, probably even earlier than that. But and I believe our time is going to be from 6 to 7 on Thursdays, again on 95.9.
That might be subject to change, however.
Yeah, well, probably not soon.
And to be honest, this is an extremely fun move, because whereas people have had difficulty calling in since we're not
usually we've basically had to do call outs.
Yep. So now we're going to be able to get people to call in as they wish while we're broadcasting on the radio. Yep. We're also going to be playing this podcast on Radio Free Fargo as well. Mm-hmm. So keep an eye open.
And maybe after 10. So during the live show, no more fucks, no more shits.
What do I give then?
I know. I don't give no shits. I give a lot of shits, actually.
We can say, what kind of things can we say on radio these days? Like ass?
Like bitch is okay now.
Can we say cum?
I don't know. That's actually a good one. I don't know if you can say cum. Probably dickweed would be fine.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out with you. How about that?
Right.
But now, sorry to interrupt.
No.
Actually, I'm never sorry to interrupt, Jeffrey. But to move on, what were you wanting to say?
I wanted to introduce our guest. His name is Travis Gilbertson. And Travis is quite the talented musician and experienced as well from this area.
Talented and experienced. He didn't just pick it up yesterday and then was just like a protege.
He doesn't have hay behind the ears. All right.
I do, but I fucking hay bales.
All right. So Travis, please say hello.
Hello.
All
now,
right.
Travis, you are actually the lead singer of the San Haven Chuckle.
I am.
Excellent.
Yeah,
San Haven Chuckle?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to expound on that a little bit more in a little bit, but we need to get to the hypothetical question, so feel free to chime in.
Okay. I will do that.
From the very beginning. I want to know, guys, if you could...
Wouldn't do it.
Okay, you have to. How about that?
Okay.
You have to remove one device or invention from the history of mankind. It could be something modern. It could be something ancient. But you want to remove this entirely from history. What would you choose to remove?
What is your definition of device?
I mean, not... you could say transistor radio. But it would be kind of weird to just say a specific part of that.
Okay.
So a device could be a cell phone, could be a wheel. Who knows? Could be anywhere in human history. So I want to know
fire.
What you would...
I would remove
so
fire.
I can recreate it.
Okay. So you're basically condemning the discovery of man-made fire to...
Yes.
To never occurring because you removed it.
Yep.
Okay. And then the next year comes along and some other group in the world discovers it.
Hey. Well, no, I did not get it. I did not get rid of it
Like
through
forever?
all history. Yeah.
There wouldn't be history.
That's what I want.
Okay. All right. All right.
He wants to erase mankind from the planet.
I'm trying to save our planet, man. When I say save the planet, I don't mean save humanity. I mean save this earth.
Okay. All right. All right. I can dig it.
No fire.
Okay. No fire.
That's a lofty.
Follow that one up, Travis.
Yeah. I want no ice.
Oh my God.
No
Warm
fire,
drinks
no
across
ice.
the table. That's
You guys
what I
have
want.
just named two things that occur in nature.
No more nature. That's my second
Yep.
question.
All right. I'm not sure if ice qualifies. I want to.
I don't know.
Well, why not? Well,
I don't think ice is a device.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like personally,
Probably.
I'm torn. I'm dating a woman very much younger than myself, and I have a cell phone, but as much as people are on their cell phones, sometimes I just want them erased from the fucking planet.
yeah.
It sounds like such an old man bitch, but it's whatever fucking happened to people talking. You know, it's like, but now
Sorry, I was on my phone. What were you saying?
Yeah, but you were looking at porn, and I condone that completely. No, but it's like I'll see a group of 5-6 people all on their phones.
Yeah.
It's fucking gross.
I've seen.
Can I say fuck?
Yeah, you can say fuck. I've sat down. I know people that have actually went out to eat and then sat and texted each other next to each other.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, just talk to each other. What do you need to have this on record?
No, these devices enable
And then
people's insecurities.
And then it's okay because I'm always wearing a wire.
I think technology will continue to enable people's insecurities, and I think we need to continue questioning it, but also facilitate it. We're going to get to the point where we just have a constant stream of consciousness between people through technology. And at that point, no one's going to complain about the old ways that are lost.
Well, I mean, that does seem to be the way things
Are you talking about logging into the neural net?
No, I'm talking about...
That's kind of what I thought he was going.
That's kind of what I thought.
I mean, the neural net eventually becomes transcendence. What's the difference? What is the need of individuals when we can simply have direct and instantaneous communication with every single human on the planet?
Who wants that?
It's not about who wants that, but everyone needs it.
So they're going to implement that? You're going to have mandatory
It would essentially
technology?
Humanity would essentially become a hive mind.
All right.
And to not have access
Granted,
to
that's
all of
almost
the
like the Borg,
perspectives.
and I am a Trek fan, so you get a point there. But I mean, I don't know, man. Even if they were free and came with a 6-pack of beer, I want nothing doing with.
That's fine, but you have to realize that everyone else would have access to every single book, every single perspective.
Right. You know, honestly, though, I could see that being, then you're that kooky, eccentric guy that is just like, you're not part of a neural net?
No, but nobody would talk to you.
What are you thinking?
Yeah.
Nobody would talk to you.
No, they would, because they're like, I know what almost everybody on the planet is thinking. What are you thinking?
Why would I want to talk to somebody who's not connected to the net?
Well, I'm not saying I wouldn't log in now and again, but
I do think it should be optional.
You would still use it for porn.
Well, yeah. I mean, I got to keep up my studies, but the notion of I think who wants. I don't want to talk to every single human being on the planet.
No, but I do want access to all the information that is available.
I don't think you can choose between those two. I think you have to be aware of, and it would make us more moral. It would make us more empathic. It would make us as individual.
But we'd have to get rid of the trolls.
I don't think so, because the trolls are a symptom of greater issues in society. Well, I also think that anonymity will no longer be relevant.
Well, that's my point. And then there wouldn't be trolls, because you wouldn't have anonymity to say whatever you want.
Right.
People would know who's saying it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in.
Cool.
All right, excellent.
So, Travis,
I'm glad we came together on that.
Travis, sorry to cut you off before, about San Haven Chuckle, your band. I would like to know a little bit more.
Well, we've been together for about 10 years now. And we've been all kinds of different acts. We used to be like a jam band, but that was terrible. The boat has sailed. I no longer enjoy jam bands. A lot of my great friends are in jam bands around the area. A late friend of mine used to mock me for being into them, and he said, "Learn to end a fucking song." Not every musician needs a 5-minute lead, you know, and like it's in.
So just to help me out, what do you mean by a jam band?
Well, when you can distill a song down to a 4-minute song, but everybody in the band wants a lead, and so you have a 9-minute song, just so you can jerk off on your instrument.
Oh, is that a jam band? Is where everybody's kind of got to get in there and do a solo?
And I'm not saying that there's not talent there. I mean, I love the band Fish.
Uh-huh.
But as far as, to me, I mean, you're not gonna peak that.
Mm-hmm.
It was such an ultimate super group, and now it just seems hackneyed to me. Like when I go watch like jam bands, I'm like, oh, okay, now it's this guy's turn to lead, or it's this guy's turn to lead. But I don't want to. If that's the kind of music you love playing, and I know that people love, listening to that, go ahead. But like, I'm just saying, we tried it, and it just seemed disingenuous.
What you're saying, I get you. What you're saying is that the other people, since you're the lead singer, the other people in the group aren't as good as you.
Oh no!
And so so you didn't want to give everybody time. I get it. I get it, man. Just roll with it.
The lead guitar player in the San Haven Chuckle, Bud Hess, is a freaking virtuoso, man. He's an incredible guitar player, and I taught him how to put his guitar strings on his guitar correctly.
Uh-huh.
But he's the
that made you sound so old.
He's the definition of what happens when you lock yourself away and practice every single day for hours and hours and hours. And I've never been that guy. I mean, it's always been a hobby of mine. Like, I've never in my life decided or thought to myself, I want to be the best guitar player in the world. I want to be the best blah, blah, blah in the world. Mm-hmm. All I've ever wanted was like, I want a few guys to put together some good stuff. I want good albums, but like Bud, I mean, constantly impressing me because he just practices.
Well, how do you distinguish then between focusing on the audience and focusing on the band when it comes to, like, how do you balance that?
Well, I mean, having done it for so long, you realize what works, by their response. We very rarely will we we won't play something live if we know it sucks. I mean, we work on it, but well, I should take that back. Sometimes there's been heavy alcohol nights at the San Haven Chuckle show, and we'll all switch instruments and essentially torture the crowd, because we're getting paid either way. But the music I've always liked, has been like Simon and Garfunkel, and I'm a melodic fan, and so I've never wanted to be the best guitar player because I just wanted to play pretty stuff, and so I've always essentially been a rhythm guitar player trying to write catchy stuff, and whereas Bud, he feels. He wants to be the best damn guitar player.
Right.
And it shows because he's one of the best guitar players in Fargo.
And I definitely get that with doing comedy, because where I host a show every week, and so I just want to make sure that I'm bringing some new stuff every week, and and kind of and still bringing in some of my old stuff that works. But I'm not one to sit down and just write for hours every day, where you can definitely tell. There are a few guys who do, and the guys that sit down and write for hours each day, their stuff is so much more polished. I mean, it's just that they are working on it so much harder, and it's easy to tell. But again, I don't dream of being a live on stage comedian.
Yeah.
So I don't need to do
those were your primary influences, Simon and Garfunkel and Fish?
I've always, not necessarily. I got into Fish later on. I mean, the first concert I ever saw in my life was the Monkees.
The Monkees?
The Monkees.
Nice.
Yeah.
Big props to that. I love that.
I was living in Duluth at the time. I was in 5th grade.
That is
awesome.
And
I had a violent mom, and so whenever she came into the room, I thought I was in trouble or something's gonna happen, And she came in and almost jokingly, she's like, "You're going, you're going," and I'm like, where am I going? And she holds up these tickets to the Monkees. I'm like, what? Good mom. and no, it was awesome. It was awesome. And then I've always been and I also grew up on 80s country and Simon and Garfunkel. But you couldn't pay me to listen to country now. But, my 5 favorite bands ever are Simon and Garfunkel, Tom Waits, the Monkees, Suicidal Tendencies,
nice.
And Pantera. And so it's I don't sit around listening to sad songs all the time.
Okay, $5 to listen to a Hank Williams song right now.
Okay, Hank Williams, he transcends country.
I was going to say,
that's
as much as I hate country music, I am willing to be paid to listen to country music.
Well, modern country is...
different.
Oh my God, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's they're trying to outbad themselves.
In fact, one of the last guests, which the episode will be coming out after yours, but he said that he would, and this was just in casual conversation, he said he would give a right leg to have a good country station in this town, or to have I think he said a country station, and I'm like, there's 20 country stations in this town, but he was talking about how there aren't any good ones. They're all new country and none of that.
I've got a gripe.
Okay.
What the hell are radio stations thinking when they buy these, Hummer vehicles, paint them up in their local, radio station?
Mm-hmm. I think they're thinking advertising.
Right, but they go to public places and they forcefully play their music for everyone to listen to, regardless of their musical interests.
So what are you saying, that you have a gripe against sound rape right now? No.
This is it's against my will. There's certainly no consent, I'll give you that.
And you should just go outside.
There's never foreplay.
You should. What you need to do, Jeffrey, is just start going to the place where they're doing this and just go, no! I'm saying no!
Go up there and start blowing a rape whistle.
No means no! I need to talk.
Not like this!
Oh, I shouldn't laugh that much at that, but that was hilarious.
I
not like this.
No, I happened to drive by a car dealer the other day, and they were playing
I feel
country
like that
music.
was off an old school special. All right, sorry.
Just saying, I have no interest in listening to country music, especially when it's coming out of a Hummer and against my will. So, radio stations, stop it. Just stop.
Stop the sound rape.
We'll start a campaign. Okay, sorry.
I want to see that T-shirt.
By the way, I'm going to talk to 95.9 and see if we can get a Hummer.
Yeah.
Jesus.
With open mic gripe, and then we're just going to forcefully make people listen to our podcast.
Right? We're going to park outside of churches. And hey, it's freedom of expression.
That's true. It's true. If they can knock on your door, you can go there and blare your podcast.
All right. So, when it comes to the type of music you play, however, how would you classify it?
Well, for a long time, we essentially would split up a night where we play like 50-50 cover stuff, and then 50% our stuff, because we have a couple albums that we record of our own stuff. We're getting ready to record a third now.
Nice.
But we have found that people would come to our shows and constantly scream more originals, more originals, more originals. Like, okay, we've kicked around this cover can for long enough. None of us enjoy it.
Right. Well, that's better than them than you playing originals and them going,
yeah,
free bird,
yeah,
free bird.
Oh my god, play a Kid Rock song. Kid Rock, if you're listening, fuck yourself. But
Kid Rock, if you'd like to be on the show, email us at Open Mic Gripe.
Don't get me wrong, I love bragging that you've lived in a trailer and stuff. Good for you, man. But how many songs are you going to cover and change and make millions of dollars on? It grosses me out. But
oh, really? Because that's the only part of American celebrity that grosses you out.
Oh, no. But it's just I just can't stand Kid Rock, man. It's just he's his.
I do kind of want to get him really drunk and give him a haircut.
Don't rob him of his mullet. That's his Samson power, man. Steal his chew. But
He does. Let's be honest. He doesn't really have a mullet, does he? Or have I not seen Kid Rock in a while?
I don't know. All right. I don't know. I'm guessing he lives in a trailer. I mean, he has to.
I'm going to remove the party in the back.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's. I'm not going to talk about mullets anymore.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I'm not going on my mullet spiel.
You know what? One time I was in a thing called Mullet the Musical.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, it was written by.
It was in two parts. The first part's short, but the end is pretty long.
No, but that's pretty good. No, my buddy actually wrote a thing called Mullet the Musical, and he is also the guy who go online and check out Jersey Shore the Musical.
Oh my gosh!
He
I
is.
just vomited in my mouth.
He is phenomenal.
I'm going on my mullet spiel.
Oh
there
my
are
God.
only.
Why did I start this?
There are only 3 men allowed to have mullets.
Oh yeah.
There's a woman too, and her name is Leslie.
We should guess.
But
Billy Ray.
No.
There should be 4.
No.
Yeah, we should put Billy Ray on there.
No. He does
Because
not
then you
get
could
privilege.
blame the mullet for all the shit that Miley
You
does
have
wrong.
to have contributed to humanity to get on this list.
I'm pretty sure he gave us the achy breaky heart.
To
So
everyone who was,
I didn't ask for an achy
I
breaky
had to square dance in elementary school to achy breaky heart because of that bastard.
Well, this is, he's contributed, so this is all falling apart now.
Is that song a contribution, really?
I think so.
The fact that it exists doesn't mean that it's better than mankind.
Thank you. All right, 3 men. One of them, MacGyver.
Okay, so there could be fictitious people.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. If you want to speak.
Okay, so MacGyver.
MacGyver.
Who's the second one?
Solid Snake. From the Metal Gear Solid series.
And then I'm guessing the third one would be MacGruber.
Nope. That's clearly MacGyver. Come on.
Yeah.
What? No, they're totally 2 different people.
Anyway.
Would you respect Carl Sagan if he had a mullet?
Ooh.
All right. There's a T-shirt.
As long as I can close my eyes and fall asleep to his voice.
Yep.
Okay, and who's
When
the third?
you cut your hair in this method, you look cool, although also fashionable. Sorry.
That deserved applause. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
All right, so we've got. Let's see here. I'm almost blanking on my third one here. We've got
Because there isn't a third.
There's a third one.
You were reaching.
MacGyver, Solid Snake, and
Billy Ray Cyrus.
No, I was. For some reason, Elf won't get out of my head, but he didn't have a mullet.
Alf?
Yeah, like
No.
the '80s TV show.
What wasn't contributing a part of this?
Oh, I know. I told you a long time. I said
And
right away, a
Captain
long
Planet.
time ago. This
Captain
fell.
Planet.
Captain Planet.
Okay, wait. Did Captain Planet have a mullet,
I
or
think
did
he
Don
did have a
Cheadle?
mullet.
No,
in the
Captain
thing.
Planet had a mullet.
All right.
Oh, that Don Cheadle thing's pretty great.
Yes. But okay. You're done with these people that have contributed, and those
one
are the
was
names that you
a
get.
video game,
One was a TV show, one was a video game, and one was a cartoon.
a violent video game, by the way.
Maybe Kurt Russell.
What do you have? Did he have a mullet?
He had a mullet
mullet.
in most of the
He had
'80s.
mullets, yeah.
Good for him.
All
Yeah.
right. So, Travis.
Yes.
No
No more mullet talk? Come on, man.
I mean, we can stick on the mullet talk.
I was primed and ready.
If I think real hard, I might be able to come up with one of the songs from the mullet.
From
Mullet, the musical.
musical?
I was the bad guy, by the way. I wish I could remember the words. I don't. But it was
Could
great.
you come up with a song on the spot for mullets?
All right, here we go.
No.
I loved that he just slowly we said
put
that
down
and
my
he slowly
drink.
set his drink down, went to put his hand on his guitar and said no, and then he reaches back over, picks up his drink.
We do have Travis's guitar in the
Yes.
studio.
Yes, I did bring it.
So, at any point, if you feel like sharing something deep and mysterious with us, then
This
feel
is a
free
high
to.
E.
Nice.
Carry on.
Fair enough.
Is there a high C? Because I'm very thirsty.
There is not.
Really?
Hey, listen, I'm not big on puns, but that one worked out for me, I think.
You're a comedian.
Okay. So I had a question for Travis.
Drew.
Your band name is weird as shit, and
True.
it doesn't make any sense to me, and I was kind of hoping you'd have at least some good explanation for the name.
I have a couple. Oops, I may have dripped on your floor.
That's right.
I'm sorry. It's pre-cum. But we were living in Jamestown, Bud and I. And don't worry about it. I'm terribly sorry, man. You have a music.
We have
you did.
spillage
I think
in
that's
the
a
studio.
I think that's a spot that was already there.
Okay.
Don't worry
But we were, Bud and I were living in Jamestown, and we just started a band, and we didn't have a band name.
Jamestown, North Dakota.
Yes.
Okay.
The worst place in the world. But stupid cops, so it's not bad. But I'll tell you the shit story later. It's fantastic.
Okay.
But
Are you sure? You could probably tell it on air.
no, I'll tell it on there. It's pretty great. But you can't. I suggest trying this with the police, this story, but don't try it in Jamestown just in case you get the cop that pulled me over. But whatever. Anyway, so he was working as a gas clerk at this gas station, and he had a cold at the time. And this trucker came in, and Bud was like coughing because he had a cold. And the trucker was like, "Oh, you've got the San Haven Chuckle." And he's like, What's that? He's like, he told this tale of back when tuberculosis was rampant. They were quarantining everybody with tuberculosis north of Dunseith, North Dakota, in this made facility called San Haven. And one of the effects of tuberculosis is you start to cough up blood. And to bring levity to this situation, when after they had a handle on the condition. In the area, it started like when people would have a cold, like, oh, you've got the San Haven Chuckle. And when Bud told me this story about what happened to him at work, and like it didn't even come up as a band name. He was just telling me this weird story. I'm like, holy shit, man, that's it. That's the name, because San Haven Chuckle sounds like a great time on the beach, but it's totally not.
Nice.
Now, last year, we were playing Dempsey's Pub in Fargo here, and we had... we were loading out the next day, or loading in, I can't remember, but we were out back, and we had some merch kind of lying out, and it said San Haven Chuckle. And this drunken fella came up, and he said, San Haven. He's like, I used to live next to San Haven. And we're like, oh, fascinating. And tell us more. And he told us a couple things. He said his cousin had died falling down an elevator shaft in the abandoned San Haven place. And we've been there. It was this gutted building. It is creepy. But
has that been a picture on your photo albums yet?
I think,
on your photo albums.
I don't think it has. We do have some photos around.
You should have like ghosted versions of yourselves.
Yeah, but
my recommendation is never listen to Jeffrey's ideas.
Yeah, he lost me at the mullet thing. But so he asked how he got the name, and we're like, well, and we told him that this trucker told this tale, and he like stopped us like, no, you're wrong. That's not the San Haven Chuckle. And he's like,
really?
He goes, I know what the San Haven Chuckle is. I grew up there. And we're like, okay. He's like, at night, they would, because after they got a hold of the tuberculosis, it became a place where they would bring the crazies and the incurables and like water babies and just people who were never going to get better. And so they would, when people would lose their shit, they would bring them to this top floor and they'd open these big bay windows. He said the San Haven Chuckle was the howls of the mad that you would hear at the middle of the night. And I'm like, well, that's officially the greatest fucking story I've ever heard. And we actually, when we played Minot, we went to San Haven. We walked all over that place. And we went to the top floor, and there was a succession of like 6 large rooms with these huge windows that apparently at one time would fold out. But there were all these like bright pastel pinks and orange and yellows, like to calm these people during their mania, and I could just imagine, because the view from these windows was amazing. The garden used to be spectacular. You can go online and see photos of this old place. Excuse me. But no, and people have reached out to us saying, my mother worked at San Haven, or my dad worked at San Haven. And there's tale that there were some nuns that worked there, because it's fairly near the border to Canada. And there was a group of nuns that strictly got a job there, but they weren't really nuns. They were transporting dope across the border. What? And it was all a fucking gimmick. And that is awesome. Keep it up, nuns.
Okay. In case you want to do this for what I think you should do, if you have stories about the San Haven Chuckle, you should record some of those and put those into some of your original songs.
Like some of the like things that have happened with the band, or what we've heard of San Haven.
Yeah, like other people telling it.
Like yeah,
and putting in little snippets, like a Lars Berman or whatever his name is. Whatever.
Carry on. But no, yeah, it's like this next album.
Baz Luhrmann. That's what I meant to say.
It takes time, but this next album, like we have all the material already. Like we
just trying to advance your career, man.
First, thanks, man. Thanks, dude. This next album is going to be like, we're trying to make a pretty album with this next one.
Okay.
Where the first 2, we tried to do like loose concept, like nothing like a solid story.
Like your second one is science, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Like where we we are all like big science fans, and so one thing we try to do is, like, when you go see a lot of rock bands, they'll like raise their drinks, like, let's fucking get wasted, blah blah blah, and like, you know, that old hat shit, you know. And it kind of goes to why one of the reasons I hate modern country, because I'm sick of people with microphones saying let's party and everything's gonna be okay, because it's not. You know, and so like we'll, you know,
not a fan of Andrew WK.
Huh? We toast to science. Like, we used to like throw. Like,
I've been to your shows. All the time. Yeah, you're always waiting around for the science cheer. Hold up your glass
and like we used to like throw out like different like science facts. You know, like we'd quiz the crowd, and if you were like, we'd come up with a question. If you were to guess the question correctly, we would give them an album or a T-shirt or something like that, or a keychain.
That is just a really great way to keep people engaged.
Yeah, and well, it's so funny how some people, and this has happened at shows, where, you know, they hear a chant of 200 people in a bar scream science, and somebody in the back will scream Jesus or something like that. And I'm like, that's the bar next door. This is the science bar. But not that I'm anti-religion or anything. I don't give a shit what you believe, as long as you're not stomping on facts.
But that's great. That's the bar next door.
But
what are the names of your previous albums, in case people wanted to check them out?
The first album is called Greatest Hits Volume 2. The Secrets to Successful Living.
Gee, hell of a title.
And the second album is called Reason.
Reason.
Yep. And it was originally going to be called Where Are You, Higgs Boson?
Ah.
Because at that time, they hadn't found the Higgs boson. And we were just getting ready to press this album. I mean, we were weeks away. And then it was like, scientists finally discovered the elusive God particle. Fuck! God damn it, man. We've been planning for 2 years to call this thing Where Are You, Higgs Boson? And then we joked around about calling it, oh, there you are, Higgs Boson. But no, now it's just called Reason.
Nice.
And it was, no, it was good. It was both albums were really good times. They're very close to the release of our second album. Our bassist, the Reverend Anderson, met with some
the misfortune. Reverend Anderson?
Yes.
Is he a reverend?
Yes, he is. And but he I mean, it was going to be like a science jokey album, and then he was in an unfortunate accident, and we lost his girlfriend Jennifer, and who is to date one of the most inside and out beautiful human beings I'd ever met. And so we decided that it's not going to be a jokey album. It's we're gonna, you know, throw some science facts on there. We have a really nice picture of her when she's very young playing a piano. And no, it kind of altered our perspective, you know.
Right.
It
as tragedy usually does.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you know, it was it humbles a person, you know. It especially when you're a musician, you know, for seems like forever as we've been. You reach a point where you're partying all the time, you know, partying all the time, and then something like this.
Yeah, Andrew WK talks about that.
I was going to say Eddie Murphy speaks very
highly
of it.
Damn it! I totally screwed that one up. It is Eddie Murphy. Thank you.
But then it's
sorry to take away from the levity of the.
Oh no! But then it just is like we decided that, you know, we wanted to honor her as best as we could,
and that was the second album, right?
Second album, Reason. And yeah, it's for Jennifer. I mean, she was.
Gotcha.
I don't know. It's a shame that such shitty people live and people like her pass away. You know, I run into.
I know. I should 20 be dead people long time ago.
I've been asking, when are you gonna go, dude? Come on!
I'm trying to get rid of fire so I can get out of here.
Because the people will turn against you. He's trying to rob us of fire.
All right. So,
and what? Do you have a name for the third album?
No.
Okay.
No, we have like 13 songs ready. You know, we want to pack this thing, you know, because we had like different ambiance and stuff like that on the other two albums, where we, you know, wanted these little nuggets here and there, but this one's just going to be, song. We wanted this to be a really pretty album. But we don't have any titles left. We joke about, one of the things we do is we'll text each other like just ridiculous album titles. Like I would love to have an album called Sects with Animals, SECTS, a collection of religious songs. but
fables, Sects with Animals, fables from the Bible.
Yep. Yeah. But no.
Okay.
That's nice.
Well, maybe in the future.
Yeah, you never know. But it's like we used to, we played cover stuff forever, but it's a thankless job, and no one mourns the loss of a cover band.
No.
Because you can go next door and see another band playing the exact same set. And
but I will say this about you can put, and this is coming from my background in comedy, you can put the greatest local comedian or the shittiest cover band up next door to door, and you will have a line out the door for the shitty cover band, and it will be empty inside the stand-up.
Yeah,
I mean, when you talk about it being thankless, I mean, that's one thing. It's just like, yeah, that's a funny thing about comedy is people go out to see comedy. They don't talk about. It's not like music. Like when you go out to see music, you'd be like, okay, what kind of band are they? Are they jam? Are they cover? Are they rock?
Yeah.
Are they? Where it's like otherwise for this, it's like comedy.
But comedy that's not done well is awkward.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think people.
So
want
in
to
other words,
awkward.
you're saying that my comedy is awkward.
I have cringed at some
That's
of the
my
jokes.
specialty is kind of making people cringe. My punchlines are usually just like, ew.
For years, I'd have multiple people say to me that I should try stand up, and there's been many times where I'd want to go to an open mic night,
Wednesday night.
but I've seen people bomb, and man, I could not fucking handle that. I could not handle that.
Oh, it's not hard.
You have to be
It's not hard
to bomb.
So easy.
Yeah.
So easy to bomb, and it's so easy for me
but
to
Jay,
get over
you're in a
it.
unique position because you sincerely do not give a shit what people think about you.
That is very true. That is very
Not
true.
many people have that ability to distance themselves from what people think.
A lot of people say it, but they don't really mean it. Like
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, I don't care what people think," but they really
It still
do.
hurts,
I'll be the first to admit that I am largely, controlled in my behavior by what people will think about me, and I'm not ashamed of that. And it's kind of guided most people in the world. But you're able to get up on stage, be a absolute moron, and if you happen to bomb in that set, you're like,
Oh, I don't care.
you won't hesitate to do it again.
No. I don't know. And maybe that's why my comedy career isn't taking off, but at the same time, I do what I think is funny, and there's a lot of times where nobody else finds it funny or tells me to stop doing that.
Okay.
But at the same time, guess what? Didn't stop doing it. All right, everybody, that was the end of part 1 with Travis Gilbertson, the lead singer for San Haven Chuckle. Make sure to join us for part 2 next week when he talks about his sobriety and some of his gripes. And we also talk about his most personally memorable song, which you will get to hear. Make sure to check it out.